Hello, everybody. My name is Opal Harris. I am a member of the Beta Zeta chapter of Beta Phi Omega Sorority Incorporated, and we are glad you guys are joining us this evening for our chakra series. Tonight, we're starting with the root chakra. The root chakra is located at the bottom, it is technically the first chakra. It is represented by the color of red. And this chakra is basically a chakra that represents the foundation, right? It represents the core of a person. It with it being at the base of your body, it provides you with a foundation for life, and it helps you feel grounded and able to withhold any challenges that you have in life. It is one of the primary chakras. There are seven, of course, and it's part of the Hindu culture. And like I said, it is represented by red, hence my red color this evening. And we're going to be joined by a young lady by the name of Miss April Jackson Hunter. She's here to speak about empowerment. She's here to teach you about her experience in life, her trials and tribulations that she went through, and why she's now an advocate for domestic violence, why she's here to speak for those who cannot speak for themselves, and why it's so important to focus on healing yourself, finding your voice, and empowering yourself, empowering your community, but also empowering yourself first. Miss April Jackson Hunter is an author and an advocate, and she's received her Masters of Art in Forensics Psychology from the Argosy University, and she also has a Bachelor of Science in Business Administration from Hertzen University. She has a love of plethora of things, but her love for books and literature has always been her passion. A story no different from anyone else's, she took a portion of her life that wouldn't be forgotten and harnessed it, allowing her to birth her LLC called April M. Jackson Hunter LLC. This transformed her into an award-winning author, speaker, and advocate. A voice was harnessed. It paved the way for her to assist survivors like herself in the LGBTQ plus community. Her mission is to help survivors understand that they are not alone. Miss Jackson Hunter believes everyone needs to know that there is someone in their corner during their dark time. For this reason, she founded Mercedes Closet Incorporated, which is a nonprofit geared to empowering survivors in the LGBTQ plus community, allowing them to rebuild and lead fearless lives, which officially launched in early of 2020. So we'd like to be joined by Miss Hunter. Hello, hello, Miss
Hey,
April. How are you?
I am good. And yourself?
Wonderful, girl. It's cold out here. It's cold. Where are you at right now?
Yes.
What city and state?
I'll, I really don't share my location, but I am in Georgia.
Makes sense. I completely understand. Completely understand. Well, we appreciate you taking some time out of your evening to join us and chat with us a little bit on this cold evening. So
All right.
let
Please.
us know. Just what do you have? What can you bring to us today to kind of help empower the people out there and kind of how it relates to the root chakra?
Ooh, Lord. I have a lot. But I gotta go. I gotta give my disclaimer, Opal, because I get knocked about it a lot. Listen, Miss April Honey is from the west side of Atlanta. And even though I have a master's level education, sometimes the hood slip on up out of me. So I be having to, and that incorporated with the fact that I tend to get very excited when I speak about topics that I love, and my speech
Uh-huh.
goes really fast.
Hmm.
So if at any point in time you can't understand what I'm saying and I'm going too fast, all you gotta do is be like, "Let me April pump your brakes. You going too
Okay.
fast."
Okay. I got you. I
Listen,
got you. I'm with you.
and you miss anything that I say, for me to take it back, just be like this. Let me put it in reverse. So pump your
Okay.
brakes and put it in
Pump your
reverse.
brakes and put it in reverse. I
Okay.
got you. I got you.
Seriously, I tend to go really fast and I be overexcited. And I'm overexcited about a passion of mine, just empowering other people.
Hmm.
So, before I get started, I just want to ask you just a question off the top of my head. How important is mental health to you?
How important is mental health to me? Um, if we had to put it on a scale, I think it wouldn't fit on the scale. I am a firm believer that I'm a firm believer in chakras in general. That's why this series in itself is one of the biggest for me, because I feel like regardless of if people want to believe in Hinduism or different religious things, because I know a lot of people relate chakras to religion or spirituality,
Yeah,
and it doesn't have to go that deep for everybody, right? But I am a firm believer that your body has to be aligned, right? So not just my
absolutely.
physical. I, I can go out and work out and look a certain way, but my inside has to be on the same page. It has to be just as healed.
Absolutely.
My mental is very important. My spirituality is very important. Like all of it holds high priority, but without the other being aligned, like they don't go well together. So mentally, mental health is very high on the totem pole for me. I am a advocate for people focusing on themselves and doing the work that they need to do to be healed, to be in a better place. Everybody's path is not going to look the same. Everybody's journey is not going to look the same, and everybody's end results are not going to be the same. Sometimes, in the midst of healing yourself, it may cause for you to have to cut off certain ties. And you got to do
Absolutely.
what you got to do for you. Like, you have to do what's best for you at the end of the day. So,
Hey,
yeah,
Miss
mental is up
Patrick,
there for me. Yeah,
how often do you think about your personal mental health?
every day. Every day. That's one thing that I've learned in the midst of me doing therapy, is that it
Hmm.
is a conscious effort that I have to put towards making sure I'm aligned every single day. Now it may look different.
Absolutely.
And that's one thing we're going to talk about, is there may be days where I do more work. There may be days where I'm actually journaling and meditating and, you know, doing yoga and doing this and doing that. There may be days that I do more things, and there may be days where on the outside looking in, it may not look like I'm doing nothing, but I may be saying an affirmation in my head, or I may take some time to
Absolutely.
stop and breathe. Maybe somebody said something that was triggering for me, and I had to actually step back and be like, it's not them, it's me. I acknowledge my triggers and let me get myself. So I every day I do some work, every single day.
Absolutely. See, I ask these questions because I'm a totally opposite. I never thought about I never questioned my mental health
Mm,
until my mental health was in question.
mm.
I never
Isn't that
questioned my
everybody's
mental health
story?
until my mental health was came into question.
Yeah.
And I just want to speak about it today. See, we hit it on the nail when you changed the topic to mental health and healing, because this is what I want to talk about:
Okay.
trauma, mental health.
Hmm.
These three words, when they are balanced, when everything is aligned, creates the perfect triangle.
Hmm.
But if even one of these sides are off, it throws you out of balance.
Mm.
Because
Perfect
you
triangle.
can have healing, but if you have healing, you have to have had trauma that affects your
Hmm.
mental health. And all three of these have to be aligned for you. You could totally live life after trauma, but you have to align your triangle.
Hmm.
I'm like the perfect example of this. I'm a survivor of domestic violence as well as a sexual assault. And from these experiences, because nobody ever prepares you, nobody tells you that your mental health can be altered by no
Hmm.
fault of your own from a traumatic
Hmm.
experience. Nobody tells you that.
Right.
And from my traumatic experiences, I was left with PTSD, depression, anxiety, panic attacks, insomnia. The list can go
Hmm.
on and on.
Yeah.
But I did not get diagnosed until many years after, excuse me, my traumatic experience. So I kind of like I knew I was experiencing something, but I didn't know what I was experiencing. And the
Yeah.
stigma with what stays in your family stays in what stays happens in your house stays in your house. I never told anybody I felt this way. So by the time I ventured myself into a mental health clinic, I
Hmm.
was suicidal.
Mm.
I was at the point of suicide. I
Yeah.
felt like death was better than what I was experiencing. And I feel like hold on. I get my thoughts. Get think about it. It just take me back. You know, I wasn't even really going to a mental health clinic. You know, I went with my friend. She took her child to the health department, and next door was a mental health clinic.
Okay.
And you know how the universe leads you, and something just said go now.
Yep.
And
Yep.
I got up and I went in there and I just told the lady I think I need help. I think I need help. And it was just like I really she had me to have a plan on killing myself. I didn't have a plan. I didn't have a plan. And I think if I told her I did, she probably would lock me in the institution. I would have been locked away. But I
Mhm.
didn't have a plan. But I just felt like death was better than the life I was living. I could not escape what I had been going through because I was being triggered. I didn't know I was being triggered. I didn't know these words.
Let
What
me
is a
stop you right
trigger?
there because you
What
you
is
just made me
okay?
remember something. For the people that are watching, this episode may be triggering, and if it is, by all means, do what's best for you. We do apologize in advance if it does trigger you and it's something that you may not be ready to hear or discuss, but know that we are also here and available for you. Or if not us, we can get you resources that you may need. Okay.
Yeah, because I was being triggered. I did not know I was being triggered. I didn't know these words, and
Right.
I had recurring nightmares, so I couldn't escape my mind, awoke or sleep. So I just feel
Mhm.
like everything was just spiraling out of control. I was self
Mhm.
medicating. I was drinking alcohol. I was taking pills. I was using sex, like anything that can numb me the quickest. I was
Mhm.
inhabiting it. It was just my escape plan.
Right.
So when I finally went into the mental health clinic, I was at my wits' end. I felt like this is over. I can't do it no more. I think the only thing that kept me rooted into this world were my kids. Because I felt like
Mm.
I was a single parent and my kids don't have nobody else. So I can't leave them by themselves. And I think that's like the only thing that kept me grounded and wanted me
Yeah.
to see what was going on. So when I finally reached a diagnosis, when they finally told me what was happening in my head, it was like an aha moment for me.
Mhm.
Like, okay, I was deep researching. I said, this is what I'm feeling. This is why I'm feeling this way.
Right.
And, you know, I started taking the medication. I started seeing a counselor. And I started getting back to normal. And, me, I'm healed. Not thinking that it's work behind healing. Healing takes work. I
Right.
stopped taking the medication. I stopped going to therapy. I feel in my mind, I'm back to me. And of course, I wasn't because I didn't have a game plan. I didn't
Mhm.
make sure that I followed up behind the routine. I didn't do enough research. So I
Yeah.
spiraled again. I spiraled again, and so by this time I was angry, bitter, just obnoxious. So I had
Mhm.
built a wall so thick around me, like I would curse you out because I just didn't. I didn't want to let love in, and of course, you can't let love in. You can't let love out.
What did that time frame look like for you as far as from the first episode to going down a path of healing and then, getting off that path?
Years.
Years. Yeah.
It was years. It was years. I say this because I went through life years not even knowing what I was going through. Just like I stayed so intoxicated. Oh, from the time from the time my feet hit the floor, I was drinking. Until the time I went
Mhm.
to bed, I was drinking. So I
Mhm.
stayed in an altered state. My mental state was always altered because I couldn't handle my reality. And in
Right.
order for me to function day to day, I had to be intoxicated. So
Mhm.
it was like I was throwing my alignment way off, thinking I was helping myself.
Yeah. Yeah.
So your creator your creator always gets you to where he needs to get you to. And if you don't listen
Mhm.
to him, he'll make it to where you have to listen to him.
So
And
when you
he
got
opened my
off,
eyes.
go
Go ahead.
ahead. No, you go ahead. I'll hold my
Oh
question.
no, no, you good. No, you good. No, just like when I went through a couple of more years. I didn't. It took me like the better part of almost 10 years to get myself in gear to say, okay, you know what, you got a problem because somebody, my wife, she's my wife now, But when I met her, she was like, "You got a problem," because like every time I see you, you on something, like you drunk or you want, you know. And then like a couple of days later, somebody else said it. So two people can't be
Mhm.
saying the same thing and it not be a problem. So I had to look at myself.
Mhm.
And you know what I had to do, Opal? I took the time out to cold turkey stop drinking, smoking, taking pills, smoking cigarettes, anything that I was detoxifying myself with, I quit.
Mhm.
And for the next couple of weeks, I started, my emotions started coming back. I started feeling stuff. And I started being back into that spiral like I was when I first walked into the mental health clinic. That because I had done blocked my emotions for so long
Mhm.
that my body was still where it was. It was just like I was so diluted with so much stuff inside of me. I couldn't feel nothing. I didn't have no feeling. And it was
Right.
just like I let myself feel. I let myself
Right.
feel. And for a couple of weeks I was a basket case. Crying.
Mhm.
I couldn't get it together because raw emotions just like a tidal wave. Boom. So I started taking it
Mhm.
one day at a time.
Right.
I started allowing myself to heal properly. I started learning about the triggers. I started learning about what they mean. I started putting together a game plan. You know, I
Mhm.
started putting together some techniques that I know can help me. And I went back to therapy. I do say I do. I wholeheartedly advocate for therapy. I think people should normalize getting mental health help.
Right.
Um, I'm back on medication because I had to get back on medication. I was not right. I take medication every day
Mhm.
because my panic attacks is like I stay in fight or flight mode all the time, and like it doesn't let me go. So I'm pretty much being panic attack driven like constantly. So
Mhm.
I had to get some stuff to help me not be so edgy all the time. So it's like I'm all the time, and I feel like this survival for me is life. It's gonna be a lifelong journey for me.
Right.
I don't see this ending. So I mean, I do wholeheartedly tell people to do whatever works best for them. And I'm not saying for you to go out there and get on medication because that's not might not be what you need. But for me, this is something that I needed to do for myself in order for me to be able to live a regular life. You know, this is where I am,
Mhm.
and I'm healing every day. I do it every day. I wake up in the morning. I can tell you. I can gauge exactly how I feel, how my day is gonna go. I prepare
Mhm.
myself for that,
Right.
and I wholeheartedly believe in meditation because I think you need to be one with yourself. And I don't run from the nightmares no more. I incorporate that into me because this is me. I can't be afraid of myself. I can't be afraid of my mental stability. So
Mhm.
I have to incorporate all those feelings. I'm learning how to use those feelings. I learn how to incorporate them with me, and whatever my body's trying to tell me, I listen because
Right.
if you don't listen, it will sit you down.
Absolutely.
That's the part.
Absolutely. How do you feel like, and if this is too much of a question or something you don't want to answer, by all means, I understand. When it comes to your journey that you walked and how it affected your loved ones, i.e., your children, what were things that maybe you saw, you recognized, or you took from the experience that are like, okay, I can utilize, because I know that you said they were your motivating factor in the beginning, but at the end of it, it still comes back to you wanting to be the best you for you and then loving everybody else. Like, can you kind of just talk about that process?
My kids were so small. They were just it's like innocence, raw innocence, and that pretty
Mhm.
much kind of like guided me. And that for a long time, my son looked just like his father, and for a long time, I could not let my son hold me. I could let my son hug me. That was like the worst part for me because it was like I was that I feared my son. It was like a lot for me to have him. You know what I'm saying? To have his father's face so close, it was a lot. And
Mhm.
his and we have a great relationship now. I love him to death. He hugs me. He calls me all the time. I can sit up there and hold my baby, hold my grandkids. And glad that I made the conscious decision to stop doing what I was doing to have that relationship with them. But again, your question is like the raw innocence is what kind of like helped me. I remember once I promise you, Opal, I had the pills in my hand. I was sitting on my bed, I was crying, and I was going to take the pills. And my daughter, she couldn't be no more than like 4 years old. And she's supposed to be in the bed asleep when she came in the room with me. And she was like, Mom, you don't gotta cry no more. And that's all she said. And she went back and got in the bed.
Mm.
It was like moments like that, and I was like, what you doing, girl? Listen, don't do that to yourself, and just like I have to breathe for them. I take my breath in for them. I let my reason to keep being here on this side of the earth be for them. And I tell
Mhm.
people all the time, you can't leave your toxic relationship for yourself. Find somebody that you love more than you, and you leave for them.
Mhm. So that kind of brings me to another question. When it comes to motivating or communicating with the loved ones on the outside, when I know that I've been in scenarios where loved ones have been in toxic relationships, toxic situations, but they're not ready to leave. What is it that I or somebody on the outside looking in could say or do to kind of help motivate it? Because it sometimes is like you're almost like, well, when
You
you're
can't.
ready, you will. But you get what I'm saying? Like, what would you
You can't.
suggest, or what would you say? Hey, try this or try that.
There is nothing that you can do or say to make them want to leave. They have to want to leave. All you
Mhm.
can do is be that constant for them. Be that constant I'm here for you. Whenever you need me, I'm here for you. Whenever you're ready, I'm here for you. Know that you are loved. I'm a phone call away. Whenever you need me. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Just keep reassuring them that you are in their corner. Because when you try to jerk somebody to do something that you want to do and they don't, they're gonna keep pulling back against you because they feel like the one thing that's going on in a relationship is a loss of power,
Mhm.
and you are taking their power away by not taking away their choice.
Mhm.
So they're gonna keep pulling against you because they want to keep that little bit of power they have.
Mhm.
So you got to keep their power. Whenever you're ready, I'm here for you. You need to talk to me,
Okay.
call me. You just want to vent. You
So,
just want to hold the phone and cry. I'm here.
uh-huh. So what about this? And I'm asking this question in a sense of, it seems like the tone that majority of mankind has kind of shifted to as of recently is putting themselves first, right? So say you are the person's friend who wants them to get better, get out of the situation, et cetera, work on them, heal, all of that. But in the midst of doing that, that energy can be draining, you know? Like at what level, and I know there's no right or wrong answer for this. Of course, everybody has to sit back and look at their own personal situation and evaluate that, engage what they can do. But it's like, at what level do you say, I'm here for you whenever you need me? And then at some point, it's like, okay, enough is enough. Because I too have things going on that this is maybe triggering for me, or this may be draining for me. You get what I'm saying? Like it's a tough situation for so many people, and it's
It is.
unfortunate that we have to get to places like that where we have to make decisions. But do you have any thoughts on that?
I really can't because it the thing of I say is everybody's feelings about certain situations is different.
Mhm.
But I know because I live from experience. Like you keep telling people that you're gonna leave, they get tired of it, so they stop coming to check on you. They stop being in your
Mhm.
corner. This is how the person that they're with isolates them.
Yeah.
This they're isolated now. They're just trapped into their own space. I say don't give up. You could distance yourself for a while, but don't let
Give
that
up.
rope, that tether break.
Yeah.
I say
Yeah.
just feel like you want to back up a little while. Just like, girl, I gotta take some me time. But keep texting you, okay? You need me?
Yeah.
Anything I can help you with? Just keep that. But by all means, take control of your mental health. Keep your mental health together, but still keep a little lenient so they can know that they always have a a safe place in you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Now tell me about your organization. What do you guys do with your organization?
All right, yes, ma'am. I'm just playing. We are Mercedes Closet Inc. We are here empowering other survivors like myself. We have a free virtual support group that we do every second Saturday of the month. We have
Mhm.
people dropping in as far as Canada, and it's online. It's free. Just jump in like on a platform. We on Zoom. It's
Mhm.
not like therapy. We like a bunch of survivors here sharing tips, sharing techniques, talking, venting, crying, just loving on each other because sometimes we just need that. And I
Mhm.
started that support group because I felt like I was by myself. I felt
Right.
like nobody in the world can understand what I'm going through.
Mhm.
And I started talking, meeting other people with the exact same feeling that I'm going through. And I didn't
Mhm.
feel so lonely no more. So it just started getting bigger and bigger and bigger. It's pretty much what we do. And we do me and my wife, we had an emergency account where people would call us to say survivors need to leave their home. They can't get into a shelter right then. So we try to put them up in the hotel for a couple of days, until we can
Mhm.
get them away so we get them in a shelter or something.
Yeah.
But COVID hit our bottom line pretty hard. So, because most of the things that we do out of pocket.
Yeah.
So COVID hit us. So we just been, doing a little fundraising, trying to get them back to where we need to be so we can offer that service again. But I also
That's
have
awesome.
resources.
Mhm.
Yeah, resources I can connect people with. So I'm meeting new people every day. So my little card deck is getting big. So I can try to
That's good.
help you with every avenue that I possibly can.
Mhm. That's good. That's I like that, especially the well, one, I recently started going to a group therapy session. I'd always, you see it in the movies, um, on TV, you hear about it, but it's not always the first suggested thing, especially when you think that all of them are in the basement of a church. But I do like the concept. I like the structure of it. It's typically anonymous and it's just talking. You never really realize how much you can heal from just talking until you actually
Absolutely.
do it. And then you're in that space where people understand what you're saying. People understand what you're feeling and what you're going through. That's one of those tools and resources that I think a lot of people miss because it's not the norm or it's not popular or whatever. But that's great that you guys offer that. And you said it's every second Saturday.
Of the month, yes.
Okay. Time. Okay. Great. That brings. You know what? I want to get your information out there because I want people to be able to see you. I know that you also have some books that you've written as well. Correct?
Absolutely. I have a brand new book that's in pre-sale. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Life, Love, and Lockup on the Oprah
Okay.
Winfrey own channel. So I
Okay.
teamed up with their curator, Michelle Lovett, and she has some installments and some books. And I am on the fourth book that just went into pre-sale. It's called Cracked but Not Damaged. I am one of
Mm,
the contributing authors because life has definitely cracked me. But baby, I am
mhm.
not broken, and neither are you. So it's time to get in
Absolutely.
gear.
Absolutely.
So you guys, please, 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 if you're listening to this live and you go and pre-order your book today, if you guys put hashtag Beta Zeta, the first three people will get a free Mercedes Closet Inc. T-shirt just for today. And the shirt says Mercedes Closet, and it says violence has no sexual preference.
Mhm.
So
Okay, well, we're going to get your information out there. We got a flyer for everybody that we're going to put up, and then we'll share it again a little bit later. But it has your contact information, has your website, and your first three books. And I know you said we can pre-order that fourth book tonight if we get it done
no,
tonight. And
that's the one in
hashtag,
the middle. Life, love, and
okay,
lock up. That one in the middle. Yeah.
okay, hashtag Beta Zeta. First three people will be able to get a free T-shirt. Does anybody out in the audience have any questions for our guest speaker? Boom, 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 boom. While we're waiting to see if anybody has questions, if you were to sum up something empowering, some type of statement that you could just give some empowering words to people out there who may not be ready, but they're on that verge of a breakthrough, what would you say?
Listen, life happens for everybody. I'm prime example. Everybody has a story, but you are the curator of your own story. You do not have to stay where you are right now.
Mhm.
You write the pages, you write the story. So get your pen and start making it happen. You don't have to stay stuck here. Yeah, everybody lives in this circle, and people think, "Oh, I might be dead tomorrow." But what if you not? What if you not dead tomorrow? That means you waste the whole day for nothing.
Absolutely.
So get your pen out. Let's make it happen. It's time to do this.
Absolutely. I like that. Get your pen out. And that actually segues us to our second half. Everybody that is watching, including you, Miss Ashley, if you would be my, I mean, correct, I said Ashley, Miss April, you would be my guinea pig, if you don't mind. Can you get your notebook out and your pen and paper? We're going to do some exercises, something that's going to
Lord
help
Jesus,
with our chakras. So,
I ain't think I was
something
going to
that
class.
I have, and
Hold on,
everybody out there, get your pens and papers out. We're going to do some notes. We're going to kind of
Deja.
just get to a space where we can focus on this root chakra. Again, there are seven main chakras. There are actually quite a few chakras, but seven main priority chakras that most people know about. And I'm going to go backwards and end up with the root chakra. So your top chakra, how does the root chakra and mental health tie together? Yes, ma'am. Your top chakra is your crown chakra, right? So on the surface, you would think mental health because it's in your crown, right? The crown chakra is actually up here and it focuses on your vision, your memory, your mental, your actual brain. And then you have your next chakra, which is your third eye right here. So crown and then your next chakra, which is your third eye chakra. This helps with your balancing and sleeping and your learning abilities. Then you have your throat chakra. Your throat chakra focuses on your voice, how to get things out. Are you able to communicate well? Are you able to express yourself and get out what it is that you need to get out, whether it be positive, negative? Hey, give me 50 feet. Being able to voice that. Your heart chakra is your next chakra. It's centered right there where everything and your emotions are at. Next is your solar chakra, which is, I'm going to say your lower or upper abdomen right below your heart. Your sacral chakra, which is a little bit around your reproductive system, and then your root chakra, right? Root chakra at the bottom. Root meaning foundation. Okay. All of it ties together, but it starts with the foundation. And through history, it goes back to actually the birth canal when we were birthed. And there's a mindset or a concept of if you were born into trauma, regardless if you feel like you have trauma or not, if you were born into trauma, we can generationally carry on that trauma and sometimes don't even realize it. We were having conversation earlier, and one of the things that I said about myself that I had to take accountability was there were moments in my life where I had to pause and say, or I chose to pause and say, that's just how I was raised. That's all I know. And that was my excuse for not doing the work. That was my excuse, or my, at that time, I thought reason, but it turned out to be an excuse for not doing better because that's all I know. When we're coming out and we're being born, we're coming in out of the space where our genitals are at, and that is the root chakra. So it's at the base of the spine. And of course, like I said prior to, it's the foundation of life. The Hindu word for it is Muladhara. Mula meaning root, Dahara meaning flux. And again, this is also Hindu. We brought that up. So your root chakra is responsible for your sense of security and stability. Yes, my son, I'm in the middle of alive. Sorry, my child wants to be a part of everything. Your root chakra is responsible for your sense of security and stability. Isn't birth traumatizing? You hit the nail on the head. Any type. So when we look at how, and again, I'm not a doctor or any type of certified professional here, but I live life just like everybody else, right? And some things is just inevitable. We just know when we are born. Back in the day, most people had natural births, right? A lot of people did the water births, or they were birthed at home. A lot of what is it called when you work with a doula and things of that nature. Birthing was not as traumatic as it is today. We chose to incorporate the Western medicine. We chose to incorporate things that numbed us to where we didn't even feel birthing. You get your epidurals, right? You have your situations where you're getting cut, and you get your cesareans, and you get all this medicine in you where you no longer feel it. Birthing is very traumatizing, let alone all the other energy that comes in there. So that's something to keep in mind when you start doing the work, or when you continue to do the work, because hopefully we've already started doing the work as far as healing ourselves and getting to a better place. So root chakra is responsibility of your sense of security and stability. So the first thing I want you to do on your piece of paper is ask yourself, am I secure within myself? Right? It's one thing to go out into the world and feel like I look good, or I smell good, or my bank account looks like this, or I have a good job on paper. On paper, everything is great. But how are you really feeling about yourself? Are you truly secure and stable within yourself? Meaning my mental is right. Like Miss April said earlier, everybody may not need medicine, but you may need to go down the route, and that may be one of the things that is good for you. So I want everybody out there to kind of just evaluate for yourselves and ask yourselves, how is my security? How is my stability? Right? Do I have those days where I kind of don't feel as confident about myself? Do I have those days where I'm looking at other people and comparing things? Do I have those days where I'm doubting myself and putting myself down? Because we can be our own worst critics. Do you have those days where you tell
Yeah.
yourself, self, it's okay that you feel not your best, but just know that that's not the all end of who you are, right? I think we tend to, especially as Black women, people of color, especially as women, and all these characteristics, especially as women of color, we are brought into a world where, or we've been raised in a world where we are expected to always be strong. We're not allowed to
That
be
part.
weak,
Oh,
you know. We're not allowed to have moments where we need to sit down and not do something. We're not allowed to tell people no, you know. Even as mothers, it is okay to sometimes look at your child and say, give me a minute. I need a minute. Because every time if you can't be the best you for yourself, how can I be the best me for somebody else? So evaluate your security and your stability. Okay. Next.
that
Um,
part right there speaks volume. I mean, well,
yes,
but
yes.
it's just like I really just I'm gonna stay on top of that because I did an affirmation about it in a journal,
Good.
and that what motivated me to go back to therapy because I wasn't okay with myself. And
Mm,
you have to be honest when you're doing work like this because if you're not honest with yourself, you're not going to get the healing that you need. So you
absolutely.
have to honestly be raw with yourself. And I had to go back to therapy because I wasn't okay. And I was man enough to say, how can I be an advocate for domestic violence, an advocate
Mhm,
for healing, and an
mhm.
advocate for empowering others when I'm not okay and I'm not being honest with myself? So you
Yes.
got to be honest with yourself.
Absolutely. And I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, give me your opinion. I mean, unfortunately, I feel like a lot of us have dealt with some type of domestic situation, right? Whether it be sexual abuse, whether it be mental abuse, whether it be verbal. We have all experienced trauma in some way, shape, form, or fashion, right? So when we sit back and we come up with this game plan and we come up with this journey of what we want our healing to be, you have to trial and try different things. Me and you are on the same
Yes.
page. I am a big advocate for therapy, but sometimes it looks a little bit different. It may start with you just sitting back and writing in your journal. And like you said, being honest with yourself. noting it to yourself. Because there are days when I go back and I look at old journal entries and I'm like, wow, I came so far, you know, I was
Absolutely.
able to acknowledge this, recognize this, and then over time I saw how it got better. You know, there's so many different ways to heal and to work with that mental, but I also think that when you start getting your mental together, it will push you, and this is where I want you to chime in. It will push you to a place where you're not going to let nobody else make you feel some kind of way. You're not going to let
Nope.
nobody else hurt you. You're not going to let nobody else come into your space and take over your life and dictate what you will and won't be doing. That domestic violence
Absolutely.
is no longer an option on the table anymore because guess what? I love myself too much to keep putting myself through this.
And not all the time. I say this because people sometimes just don't know. And I tell people I say this because I felt like my baby dad was supposed to act that way. I felt like I had in my mind. You grow up, you see everybody baby dad is doing this because I grew up in projects and got there fighting, arguing time, and I thought baby dad was supposed to act like this. So I didn't even know that I had went through something. So it started talking to somebody and I talked with it. My baby dad actually came into my house with a gun. He put it to my head and pulled the
Your
trigger.
connection is breaking up a little bit. It's hard to hear you.
How much did you hear? What did you hear?
Um, your baby daddy. I think that's what you said.
Yeah. He came out with a gun and put it to my head. And this is life. That was life for me. I
Hmm.
thought baby dad was supposed to act like that. I did not know how close to danger that I had become until he pulled that trigger and he to put it in my life. But the gun jammed and the bullet didn't fire. I saw the bullet in the gun. Me, for me to go out,
And we're back. I apologize, everybody. We had a bad connection there. Hopefully, Miss April is able to rejoin us and continue giving her insight on her situation. I'm going to keep going until she does join us. So, when it comes to your, oh, there she is.
I don't know what happened, y'all. This technology is
No, no, no.
the
You,
pan didn't
I
work.
went out to come back in and see if we could get a better connection. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I give you five.
Okay, good, good. Were you
No, I
done
was
with your
just
point?
saying
I'm
that.
sorry.
No, you fine. I was just saying that how my baby's father. I didn't know I had went through anything. I felt like they were supposed to act like that. I thought that was
Hmm.
the definition of what baby daddy
Hmm.
was supposed to do. And
Right.
you learn better, you do better. And I didn't know
Absolutely.
until he came to my house with a loaded gun and put a gun to my head and pulled the trigger, but the gun just didn't fire. How unsure or how I didn't know what kind of game I was playing,
Mm.
and it I don't say people have lack of knowledge or I can't tell them how to live their life, but I totally understand it. I know it's love. I know, you feel like it's love, but you can't play with your lives like that.
Hmm.
You can't you can't subtract or You can't make a person be who you want them to be. They will never be that person that you want them to be. You see the person
Right.
that you want them to be. You don't see the person that they are.
Right.
And I don't say it, you don't love yourself enough because I did love myself. It's not. It, I just I wanted my kids to have a family. I wanted to have a mom and dad because my mom and dad separated way before I can understand. I wanted them to have a different dynamic. So I sacrificed a lot. I feel like I could sacrifice me for them to have a loving family that they needed, but that was never going to be enough. It was never going to be a time where he say, "Did you doing everything right?" It is never going to be enough. You
Hmm.
are never going to be enough to make them stop.
That saying in
You have
itself
to
is one
sit
that I
down.
know
Yeah,
is sometimes one of those triggering and toxic type things. Am I enough? Right? Feeling
you're
that you
never
are
enough.
enough and understanding that you are perfect how you are at that moment, and nobody should be able to take away your worth, your value in life, right? Getting back to just the chakras, like understanding that I am enough. I'm confident in who I am, regardless of what stage of life I'm at. And nobody can take that away from me. Nobody can take away my identity and who I choose to be. And that's something that I know that a lot of every culture has this hurdle to get over, but especially in the LGBTQ plus community, that is an
Absolutely.
identifying thing that a lot of us have struggled with, understanding who we are and understanding that we are enough, and understanding that and how it ties in just in life, being able to push forward in life. Once you grasp who you are, nobody can take that from you. Nobody can take who Opal is. Nobody can
Absolutely.
take who April is from us if we know who we are, and not allowing people to define who we are, especially based off of the way we've moved or our decisions in life. That's one thing that I want everybody to look at. Who are you? You know, put that down
Yeah.
in your list of things, and answer that for yourself. Who am I? It doesn't necessarily have to be that I am this and this is defining me, da 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 da, but understand who you are. As of right now, I am a survivor. As of right now, I am a woman who is healing. As of right now, I am someone who is strong, and I am this and I am that. But understanding who you are is very pivotal in the healing process. Identifying who you are.
Right.
That allows you to be secure as to who you are. You got to know who you are in order to be secure with who you are, you know?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And don't be
Let's
afraid to
see.
be raw with that answer.
Absolutely.
Afraid to
Absolutely.
be raw with that answer. You don't have to be. It don't have to be a pretty answer.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Being real with yourself,
just
being
to be
accountable and
raw.
real with yourself.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. So, when it comes to the chakras, some of the key things to look into as far or identifying factors when your root chakra is blocked. A lot of times when we talk about chakras, okay, I know where they're at. Now what? How do I know that this is the particular chakra that is blocked for me? So focusing on the root chakra, when we know that it's either too closed or too open, but it's not in balance, we can have a lot of anxiety, right? Or depression, being emotionally scattered, being unsettled. Say you get to go to start a project and you can't finish it because you got something on your brain, and you get over here and do this over there, get over it. You're just all over the place. Being emotionally scattered. I feel good. I feel bad. I feel this. I feel that. Being all over the place. These are things to look for to say, hey, my root chakra may be imbalanced right now and I need to get it together. Ties back into your mental. Because when we're on this emotional roller coaster, we're allowing the everyday life's trials and tribulations and other people's situations to take us out of our space and dictate what we're going through. We got to find that balance. Okay. Sleeping a lot, not being able to stay focused, just feeling heavy. You ever just feel heavy and you don't really know where it's coming from? These are things to look for when it comes to, is my root chakra balanced? How do you actually heal it? So there's so many ways to heal. and we're just going to go over a couple of them. So, when it comes to the physical aspect,
Absolutely.
emotional instability, absolutely. When it comes to healing, one of the best ways to heal the root chakra is to take it back to the root. Go outside, go be one with nature. Everybody is not an outside person, I understand that, but there are things that you can do like grounding, actually getting your hands and your feet in the dirt. Start a garden, right? Be one with nature. Go walk, go hike, go stand outside by a river and just listen to it. Just sit out there and do some art, maybe, or something like that, but actually getting out and moving. And if you don't want to go outside, stand barefoot in the soil. Amen. Yes, ma'am. Grounding yourself, standing barefoot in that soil, just feeling nature, allowing that energy to come back into you. Moving. Get that stagnant energy moving around inside of you. You know?
I just gotta make a statement, me. Oh,
Yes, ma'am.
cause me April not. She don't like wildlife. So
And
what
that's
can
fine.
so
You don't
what
have
can me
to,
April
right?
do? Cause I don't
But
want to listen.
look, I got some yoga moves. There's so many ways, but it's actually because when you think about it, when you go outside, a lot of times we're moving. So if you're just moving, that alone is another way. You don't have to necessarily go outside, although the Mother Nature is nice to you. She loves you, but if it ain't your cup
She's
of
not my
tea,
friend. She's not
that's
my friend.
fine. It ain't for
She's not my
everybody. So I want everybody to come up with at least one thing that you can do that can help get you, if you feel like if you feel like your root chakra may possibly be balanced, come up with one thing. Maybe you guys out there can suggest some things. I see Latoya said she's not really a nature person, wildlife person, but stand barefoot in the soil. Just come up with some ways that you can be one with either Mother Nature or get moving. What are some suggested ways that you guys can get out there and get moving? Also, meditate.
I do that.
Meditating forces you, once you get the hang of it, it forces you to be one with yourself. It forces you to be inside your mind, right? Standing in the ocean, water is so powerful. Water is so powerful.
I don't think I'm
Between
doing
the view of it, between the smell of it, and just the feel of it. Water can be so healing. Why do we think we get baptized in the water? Why do we think that the one of the best ways to have children is to birth them in water? Water is one of the most healing things out there, right? Meditate. When you meditate, there are sounds that can be ocean, can be water. It's very calming. Take a walk. That's a good one. That's a great one. When you're taking a walk and you're just in your space, you're in your zone. You allow yourself to get your own thoughts out. That can be a method of uh, journaling. A lot of times people think it's always putting pen to paper. Everybody may not want to write. Oh my goodness, screaming at the top of your lungs. Yes, getting that
that.
energy out, just moving it and stop allowing it to build and fester inside of you, right?
I think I write
Getting
that
that
one day.
out and getting those emotions out. You may want to record yourself, record your voice. I know I've used that practice a lot in a lot of different times in my life where I've actually recorded myself doing different things. And sometimes just to go back and hear the tone of my voice. I've made videos where I went back and watched of myself and seen where I was at that time. Just different things like that. But getting up and moving and not allowing yourself to stay still in one spot. Get it moving. Meditating. There's two YouTube channels. One called Magnetic Minds, and then there's another one called New Meditation Music that offer really good meditation music or videos. I personally am a Janae Aiko fan, okay? And she has a meditation song that lasts about 6 hours and it's just on repeat. That's my meditation go-to. Not being partial, but I just had to put that little plug in there. Let's see. Foods. Your healing work may deal with foods. Maybe some people out there love to cook. So when it comes to that root chakra, we're gonna take it back to just exactly what it says. Oh, a good cry is so needed. I think everybody should cry
Absolutely.
every so often. I ain't saying cry every day, but every so often you just gotta get it out. I sit in my car and I'll get me a good cry in.
People think
When it
crying
comes
is like a sign of weakness, but it's really not.
It really isn't.
It's a
And that's something
cleansing.
I wish we had time to touch on, but it really isn't, especially when it comes to our males. You
Yeah,
know, we're
it's
not weak if we're
cleansing.
cry, we're human. That's what we are, because when we stop crying, we become emotionally detached. But ooh,
That
that's another
part.
story.
I know.
That's a whole nother episode. The
Yes.
foods, getting back to your root foods, radishes, red foods as well, strawberries, greens, just things that are, again, touching Mother Earth, things that are coming out that are have these heavy roots that are attached to them, and also meat proteins. Meats are root vegetables, absolutely. Your meats are actually suggested foods as well. So your reds, your roots, and your meats are suggested foods to help balance your root chakra. The essential oils that have been suggested, just to name a few, are rosemary, another root. Like that, certain foods love rosemary, but just to put in your oils, essential oils, rosemary, y'all laugh if you want to. Lang Lang, spelled Ylang, Lang Lang. The Myrrh essential oil is Myrrh, and sandalwood. These are good essential oils that are suggested to help balance that root chakra. Oh, I got a couple minutes. Let me hurry up. The crystals. I had to go into my own selection to pull out some of these crystals. We have the smoky quartz, which actually is a brown color. Let me see my camera. Y'all can see that. It's like a brownish tone. Smoky quartz is a good one. We have the bloodstone, which actually you can't really see it, but it's greenish with like red dots in it. And then there's also, and I hate my son has it, but it's the hematite stone. It actually looks silver. Have you ever seen those bracelets that kind of look like magnets? Hematite. Those are great stones to start with when it comes to doing some chakra work, as far as helping you stay grounded or helping ground you, helping move stagnant energy, getting that root moving, right? Once you get that foundation going, then we can start working on some of the other things in life as far as getting it back in balance. Our emotions, our emotional needs, as far as letting go of fear. Don't be afraid to do the work. Don't be afraid to tap into your your traumas, into your triggers. Don't be afraid to face it. We have to face it head on. And you may need somebody to hold your hand, and that's fine. Find you a support system. Like she said earlier, Miss April said earlier, having those people around you that say, hey, I'm here if you need me, right? I'm just a phone call away. Letting it be known, hey, I actually need you today. I need somebody to listen to me cry. Or I need somebody to come over and sit with me while I watch a movie and not think about certain things, but I don't want to be alone. Don't be afraid to use your support system. And if you don't have a very close knit support system, look around you. Miss April has an organization where they meet every second Saturday. We have organizations within our sorority where I know we are healing each other. Sometimes it just takes that one friend. Reach out to people. We're not meant to be on this earth and doing things alone. Um, Practice your posture.
I
As
know.
simple as it is, standing up straight, allowing that blood to flow through, right? You don't want to be slouched over. We're not self confident in this way, in this manner. Holding your head up, okay? Straightening out that back. That helps get that blood flowing, believe it or not. It's just not just about your grandma saying you need to get up and do it. Yes, ma'am, getting those cries out. Oh, just get it out. Hey, if you gotta cry in front of somebody, it is okay. All right.
Yes, it
They
really
will
is.
be fine. They will be fine. And the last thing that I want to do before we get to this is set your intentions with your root chakra and ask yourself, give yourself permission to open up and heal. I give myself permission to start to heal and be brave enough to face any emotions and old memories that come up as you start this process. So, the last thing I want everybody to do, and I'm going to read a few, we got a couple seconds, is come up with some affirmations. Affirmations work. When you say it enough, you start to live it, you start to believe it, it becomes second nature. Okay. Affirmations: I am safe. I have the right to be here. Everything in my life makes me feel secure. I gently release that which makes me feel unsafe. I let go of everything that does not protect me. I feel very secure right now. I only allow tranquility and warmth to reside in my heart. I choose to spend time with people who make me feel emotionally safe. When I feel safe, I can relax. Consistency gives me security. Come up with your own affirmations, and we're going to end on that note, but come up with your own affirmations. Leave them around everywhere that you are. Put, I am no one's time. I am on no one's
On
time
no
but my
one's
own.
time.
Amen.
That part
Amen.
right there. Yes,
Throw your
I like that.
affirmations up on your mirror in your bathroom, right? Put it on the front of your phone. Put it on your ceiling. Put it in your car window. Set your intentions and put it out there. Do the actual work, starting with the root chakra. And I wanted to thank you, Miss April, for joining us this evening. You were a pleasure to talk
Oh,
with, to
welcome.
chat with. It was a pleasure. You guys make sure you check out her book and reach out to her. We're going to post a flyer when this is over again, but there it is. You guys make sure you look her up on all social media platforms and or her website. First three people to pre-order a book that use the hashtag Beta Zeta will also receive a t-shirt. So we want to actually go make sure we show her some love. And it was such a pleasure. I really thank you so
Oh
much for
no,
taking
I had a
some
great
time to
time.
chat with
Thank
me.
you. Thank you so much.
No, thank you. And if anybody has any extra questions or anything, you guys just inbox us or text us, or you know how to find me, honey. And it was lovely. Thank you and good night.
Bye, y'all.